What's up, man? This is my name is James Findlay, aka Antidote Musiq, and this is Forever Alive vlog series, episode 6, the finale. We're gonna turn the camera around. You're gonna face me. I'm gonna tell y'all my story.
Trying to be the greatest, feeling lucky like in Vegas. My odds isn't faded, cause I'm gonna be famous. At least that's how I feel, that's what I tell myself. And what every chick said when I was promoting self. So selfish when in love, just wanting myself.
So I was born in Buffalo, New York, and lived there till about the age of 3. And then my dad graduated college. My mom and I and my dad moved down to Pennsylvania, Warminster, just outside of Philly, and grew up there. My childhood, lived in Atlanta for a couple years as a kid, and then ended up in Maryland in 1996, just before high school. And basically went to high school in Southern Maryland and graduated. Went to a 2-year college in Montgomery College, Montgomery County, Maryland, and then ended up at Towson University in the fall of 2004. Towson was a great opportunity for me, really to finish school and have dreams of having, a life of my own. I went through some very tough times when I was at school. I was just about to graduate. I had a roommate. That roommate wanted to move out and get closer to campus. So my roommate moved out and I had to get my own apartment. I basically moved into my own apartment. It was a 1-bedroom, and we're sitting right here on the steps of this apartment. There's a lot of memories here at this place. Being on my own for the first time really gave me some sense of, feeling like I'm growing. I'm getting a little grown. I got my own place, and at the same time was very tough because a lot of things in my life was happening at that time. You know how it is coming out of school. It's not so easy finding a job right away, so it took me a while to find a job. When I finally got a job, it was entry level, so I wasn't making as much money as I could at the time. I remember sitting in my room here one time after work watching TV, and the cable cut off. I just couldn't afford to pay the cable. It was either sandwiches for dinner or cable, so the cable got cut off. And I remember sitting there like, I can't do this anymore. I gotta find something else to make ends meet. So I started working at Domino's and delivering pizzas. And that was just a job just to make extra cash to get by. I would start my day 7 o'clock, get up, go to my corporate job in the daytime, leave there about 5:30, go straight to Domino's at 6 o'clock, and I would deliver pizzas till about midnight. And my days would just roll by. Weekends felt like weekdays because I'm working all day on Saturday and Sunday. And all of that barely enough to make money to feed myself and to finish paying rent. I was in a relationship. I had a girlfriend who was out of town at a different school. And it was kind of a long distance relationship. During that time also, my parents started having conflict in their relationship. Almost about 25 years of marriage at that time. All the things going on, I wasn't able to really spend time with my girlfriend because I was spending so much time working, trying to take care of myself here. That relationship started to crumble. The people that were most important to me, it seemed like were pushing off. I had also stopped going to church. I was more focused on making money. I was more focused on my relationship, and I was more focused on myself at that time. And I wasn't going to church anymore. So a lot of my friends from church, the really good friends that I had, those relationships weren't there either anymore. So I found myself very much alone and just working long hours. I just felt like there was nothing more that I could do to provide for myself. And there was a clause within the contract for this apartment. They signed me up for another year lease when I was ready to move out. I tried to fight it. They weren't willing to help. So I just packed my stuff up at the end of the first lease and moved. And I ended up moving back with my dad and commuting for an hour and a half to work every day until I found some roommates to move in with. That helped a little bit, but eventually I lost my job. In 2008, just before Christmas, my job let me go. I had quit Domino's while I was in the roommate situation because I had a little bit more money. I wasn't spending all my money on rent and bills. I had 2 other people to share it with. Lost my job. I didn't know what to do. Right before Christmas. A couple months later, on my birthday, the market crashed at its lowest point, March 9th, 2009. The economy got really bad. So I was out of work. I had left Domino's. I tried to get that job back just to make some money, and they said, sorry, we're at capacity right now. You should have stayed. I didn't know what to do. Then my parents split up. Then my girlfriend left and said, I don't want to be in a relationship anymore. I was really at that point at my lowest point. The only thing that I felt like that kept me going was looking forward to Friday. I would get off of work, head down to DC and meet up. All my friends would converge at one place. There was a club called Love, which is an ironic name for a club and for that whole situation in my life, where I didn't feel like I had a lot of love. I could put off all the situation that was around me, and for those few hours or moments, I could feel like I was on top of the world.
Voice louder in my head, urging me don't quit while ahead. Steady moving onward. Christ died so we can be homeward. Bound with these words, my eyes looking downward.
This was my getaway, if you will. We started getting to know people that worked here, and that's when we started the promotion business. And really, it was a way to make some extra money. So we come out here, man, and be lined up all the way up the sidewalk, up the block, the people on both sides. And it was the thrill of just being in that environment that kept me coming back, you know. It kept me showing up. And as I started making the money, as the money started coming in, it was even more of a reason for me to keep coming back. So the stress would go away for a few hours, but then when I come home, wake up, not feeling well from all the drinks that I had, you know, it really wasn't worth it in the end. But at the time, like I said, I had some great memories, some great moments, some high moments, you know, seeing a lot of famous people here, running into a lot of famous people, got to meet some famous people, you know, but it was not fulfilling in the end. There was one night when I was leaving from out the club, and I had ordered a drink, and I was kind of out of it, if you could say that, and I didn't pay for the drink. So I remember them escorting me down to where I had my tab, and they had me close out my tab. It was a lot of money, man, at that time for that tab. It was just a crazy night. All I remember is them escorting me outside, and next thing you know, I woke up like 10 a.m. and I'm in my car, and I can't remember anything else. And that was a moment that I realized, you know, this is not really something I should be doing. So it comes to a point in life, man, where you start to realize that emptiness that I felt was really the fact that I didn't have God in my life at that time. And when I think back on all those lonely moments and those moments where I thought, man, this is the worst time of my life, I felt like God had to put me in a place where I was very humble. You know, I had no work, barely making money on this Friday night club thing. And I really had to realize that I needed Him in my life. I had pushed Him and all my friends away when I stepped away from church. But I really realized at that moment that I needed Him in my life more than ever. I moved out of Baltimore and I moved back with my father. And not only did our relationship get better at that point, but also I started going back to church with him. And I I started rekindling the friendships that I had in church at that time. And I finally realized that when I started really changing the way I lived, some good things started to happen again. I invited this girl that I became friends with, from the promotion. I had met this beautiful girl, and we became friends. And after a year of our friendship, I invited her to church, and she started coming to church with me. And a year after that, she became a Christian and got baptized. And a month after that, I got restored back into church. And that ended up being my wife now. We got married, and now seeing my family, my beautiful wife and my beautiful daughter. I think God gave me a daughter for a reason, and I'm able to now teach her this life lesson that I learned. When times get tough, don't run away from God and think you can do it on your own. It's more so that's the perfect time you need to pull God closer, or pull yourself closer to God. And that's what I learned, that's what I learned from all those things I went through. And now I'm able to say, you know what, a life with God is so much better. I feel like He had to put me on my back, flat on my back, at the lowest point of my life for me to realize that. But now I know that I'm never going to leave Him again. That this life with Him is forever.
Changed my life from that moment in. The reason I'm here again. Then we went to church where it all began. Funny how God